What is internal control? Internal control is a process designed and effected by those charged with governance to provide reasonable assurance to achieve entities' objectives in the following categories: effectiveness and efficiency in operation, financial statements are reliable, and comply with laws and regulations. The management is responsible to design the entity's internal control system and establish and maintain the entity's internal control. Auditor is responsible to understand and test the internal control over financial reporting and issue audit report on management's assessment of its internal control. In order to understand client's internal control, auditor needs to understand 5 components of internal control. Internal control consists of control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication, and monitoring. Control environment serves as an umbrella to the other 4 components of internal control. It consists of actions, policies, and procedures which reflect the overall attitudes of management about internal control and its importance to the entity. In order to understand client's control environment, the auditors need to risk assessment is a process of identifying, evaluating, and responding to the identified risks in an organization. In order to understand the client's risk assessment process, auditors oftenly using questionnaires and having discussion with management. Control activities is policies and procedures that help to ensure that management directives are carried out to achieve its objectives and also to reduce or address risks. Control activities usually comprises adequate separation of duties, which limits one person controls over an entire area of company by spreading the responsibility among multiple employees so that each employee can keep the other's works in check. Proper authorization of transactions and activities where management will often give an employee responsibility to perform certain tasks, resulting in the employee being held accountable if task is not completed satisfactorily. Adequate documents and records are essential for correct recording of transactions and control of assets. For physical control over assets and records, it is an effort by management to safeguard company's assets and records to prevent loss. Independent check on performance where management will reconcile recorded information with actual asset balance. For information and communication, the auditor needs to understand methods and procedures in client's company which use to handle its transaction and maintain accountability of individual roles and responsibilities. Monitoring is a management's ongoing and periodic assessment of the quality of internal control performance to determine whether controls are operating as intended and modified when needed. Oftenly, auditor can obtain understanding about how client monitor its internal control system by having discussion with management and having discussion with internal audit staff.
Created using Powtoon.